Hey, Nelson, alcoholic addict. That's not my real name. I use a pen name here at LOL Sober. I was thinking the other day, I remembered this moment early on in recovery where I had a real epiphany. And, I got sober when I was 32 years old. And so I had this moment where it hit me that I was living life for the first time without drugs and alcohol. And by that, I mean, I was already married and I had kids and a job and cars and I had a life. But for the first time ever, I was really trying to be a good husband, dad, son, employee, neighbor, responsible bill paying consumer. I was doing it for the first time without anything to take the edge off, to numb me out. And I remember it hit me pretty hard because life on life's terms, it's a hard concept for anybody on earth. But for a newcomer like me, it's the first time doing all of those basic adult things. And I was 32 years old, So it reminded me of the movie Big, where Tom Hanks is a kid in a man's body. And he's trying to figure out how to find a place to live and pay the rent and fill out forms to get a job and pay taxes and manage a paycheck and be respectful to coworkers and all the things you assume because he is in a grown-ass man's body. And that's how it was with me, too. And so one story stands out as a example of how overwhelming early recovery can be when it comes to that. So here goes. When I had about a month sober, I was laying on the couch one Saturday morning, just hanging out, watching TV. And my 1-year-old daughter walked up to me, and she was holding a bowl of blueberries. And she stood in front of me, and she made eye contact, and she said, "Dad, do you know who likes blueberries?" And I said, "Who?" And she said, "Me." And she threw 2 blueberries in her mouth, kept eye contact, and then just walked away. And it was like Kaiser fucking Sose from The Usual Suspects. It was so random and funny and cute and all of those things. And I started chuckling a little bit at the randomness of this whole interaction that happened. And then I started to laugh really hard. And then I laughed harder. And then I started to cry. And then I started really laughing and then really crying. And that all happened in a span of like 60 seconds. I just turned into this big gooey puddle of emotions on the couch. And I started coughing. And my wife was in the kitchen and was like, "Yo, what the hell is going on in there?" And the truth is, I was kind of having a meltdown. Like, it was this confluence of emotions that I just I don't remember ever feeling. And it was really hard to handle, but also beautiful at the same time, if that makes sense. So I called my sponsor a little bit later and I told him the story, and I was just like, "Man, what happened to me?" And he started laughing on the other end of the phone, and he was like, "Well, that's what's known as feelings. Feelings are those things you used to numb yourself out about, but now you actually have to sit with and, feel." And I understood what he was saying. In my drinking days, I definitely felt those things. I would get mad or I would get sad, and everything in between. But I never really processed anything. I never sat with anything. I would just drink over them, pass out, wake up again, be mad again, pass out again because I got drunk again, pop some pills. It just was a mess. I never truly felt stuff. I never was truly present. And that meant I didn't process things and move on. I just stuffed it in the basement and let it in there to fester. And so I'm so glad I don't have to live like that anymore. I definitely am still pretty good at whipping up a resentment from scratch. But there are so many minor incidents these days that I used to turn into an invitation to go to war. And now, they just pop up. They kind of go through my digestive system and they're gone in 20 minutes. No big deal. What a gift. What a total gift that is. What a gift it is to sit there and experience stuff with my kids, even the bad stuff. At least I'm there, man. At least I'm feeling it. At least I'm along for the ride with them. And, so that's a beautiful thing. And guess what? To this day, I have a real soft spot in my heart for blueberries. I have never felt more fondness for blueberries than the past 12 years. Thanks for letting me share.